The government is scheduled to shut down in 2 days on Friday. If there is not a continuing resolution passed, there doesn't seem to be any likelihood of a full year budget being passed, of course. There are negotiations ongoing about passing a continuing resolution, but apparently there are major elements of the Republican Party that are attempting to shut the government down and leverage the idea of vaccine mandates. There's another federal judge. This one, I think, was in what, Missouri? Was it Mississippi?
Louisiana. Federal judge.
Which has enjoined the vaccine mandates in their circuit as well.
That was after the Missouri judge yesterday did the same. This is part of like a 14-state lawsuit about the healthcare worker vaccine mandate.
Yeah, it's absurd to want your healthcare workers to have a vaccination against COVID. There's data coming out of Israel. It's very early, so you got to take this with a grain of salt. But there's data coming out of Israel which shows that the vaccine does inhibit Omicron, at the very least, in terms of how serious getting infected with that variant is. I don't know that there's much you can take from it. It's better than early data showing the opposite. That's the only thing I can tell you. It's not conclusive at this point. We're going to need a couple more weeks to find out exactly just how effective the vaccine is, but we know that it's certainly effective against the Delta variant, both in terms of catching it and in and the implications of it. Is it 100% effective? No. Is it 90% effective? No. 60, 70%, maybe a little more? Yes. Meanwhile, in D.C., the Republican Party is it's I don't even know what to say about them going back and forth with each other. It's really just sort of like the horrible people versus the marginally more horrible people. But
so Real Housewives of D.C.
Exactly. However, there are implications for when people like Lauren Boebert, but really, I mean, this is the Republican Party's been at this for a long time. I mean, there's nothing new. They have set the table and have defined, really, I mean, whether it's AOC, but in this instance, it's Ilhan Omar. They have set the table to demonize, frankly, women of color who are, and certainly women who are Muslims in the Democratic Party. And after Lauren Boebert's most recent attack on Ilhan Omar as being part of the jihad squad, apparently there's some implications. And here's Ilhan Omar at a press conference explaining what those implications are. We should say, warning, this is going to be a little bit disturbing because she got a voicemail.
There's some language here.
I'm going to play you a voicemail that we received hours after I got off the phone with Representative Boebert after she posted her video.
We see you Muslim sin, bitch. We know what you're up to. You're all about taking over the country. Don't worry, there's plenty that will love the opportunity to take you off the face of the fucking earth. Come get it, bitch, you fucking Muslim piece of shit, you jihadist. We know what you are. You're a fucking traitor. You will not live much longer, bitch. I can almost guarantee you that we the people are rising up, and you will be tried for a military tribunal, and you will be found guilty.
For those of you who did not hear it very well, let me read you what the voicemail says. We see you, sand N-word bitch. We know what you are up to. You are all about taking over our country. Don't worry, there is plenty that would love the opportunity to take you off the face of this effing earth. Come get it. But you are effing Muslim piece of shit. You are jihadist. We know what you are. You are effing traitor, and you will not live any longer. Condemning this should not be a partisan issue. This is about our basic humanity and fundamental rights of religious freedom enshrined in our Constitution.
You know what's upsetting, though, is that it's not really a partisan issue right now, because Steny Hoyer said to Axios yesterday that they're still just, quote, considering sanctioning.
I mean, it's so
they were quicker to sanction Ilhan Omar for saying that the United States and Israel had committed war crimes in passing in one sentence in a statement than they have been likely. I mean, not to obscure who the real villains are here, which are the Republicans, but the Democratic leadership, in the way that they tried to capitalize on villainizing Ilhan Omar, have created this environment, and they are complicit in it in many ways.
And they're also complicit in not showing the American public the seriousness of this type of stuff. I mean, I don't understand how they think from a political standpoint they're going to achieve anything with January 6th. If the one of the problems with January 6th, one of the sort of the predicate of why it was so problematic, was because you've got people like this who are in that crowd. And if you're Ilhan Omar and you're getting these type of threats, you have reason to fear for your life in that instance.
Of course.
Yeah, I think it's totally justified people were feared for their life. I think it was gross that people
they made fun of AOC.
Idea. Yeah, they
right.
made people who made fun of AOC. Like, this is the type of people that they have to worry about.
Exactly. And you cannot communicate to the American public that you're taking this seriously if you don't take it seriously. The American public is not going to get out ahead of the Democratic leadership in responding to this. It's just an absurd. It's shocking that they're not moving much quicker on this. And eventually, hopefully, they will.
But I mean, and not just, as you say, tying it directly to the Republican Party. They keep doing these like individual, Gosar, how could you tweet out that video? And in the proceedings of censuring Gosar, that's when the initial Jihad Squad comment was made. And then round and round it goes. I'm sure there will be another Republican that backs up Boebert here, who then gets like springboarded into some fundraising apparatus by having her back. This is the whole of the Republican Party. And so like focusing on the interpersonal drama between the call that Boebert made to Omar, it does a disservice to the entire thing that you're saying here, right? Which is, this is the Republican base. There's a reason this resonates with people. And so the Democrats never get out in front of this, and then they're going to, fall in 2024 and wonder what happened. I couldn't agree more. It's disgusting.
It's like Gabby Giffords was like 500 years ago.
Yeah, it really is amazing.
And they lost their shit when Sarah Huckabee Sanders was mildly heckled at a restaurant. Just give me a break.